What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ant-Man channel. It is Tuesday, the 14th of October 2014, and I am your host, Ant-Man. Yeah, beautiful Tuesday, of course. I've got some articles in front of me. I wanted to follow up my last video with a short video about an article that I found on the internet, because I was touching on something that I really don't talk about a lot, but it's very, very, very prevalent in our times, very relevant, very influential with our society. And here I'm just going to go into it, and I'll even add a link for extensive research. If you want to do more research about this, I'll even add a link of a different article for you to read, because the other article is super long and really in depth. So let me just read a short article from contendingfortruth.com. This was written in 2008, but it's a short summary of what I was talking about earlier about sorcery and what sorcery is today. Of course, when we think of sorcery, we think of like Gandalf from like Lord of the Rings or something, right? We think of like a guy with a robe and a staff and just, oh, you know what I mean? No, they don't do that these days. They act professional. They wear suits. They act sophisticated as if they have actually like something to offer society, and but they don't. They're tools of the enemy. Now let me show you. Pharmakeia, Sorcery, Pharmaceuticals, and Roots of Modern Day Drugs, Part 1. So, the guy that wrote this is Dr. Scott Johnson, just so you know. Excuse me. Pharmakeia is a form of the Greek root word from which we get our English words pharmacy, pharmacist, and pharmaceutical. In the Bible, Pharmakeia carried with it the idea of sorcery, occultism, and black magic. It is in this sense that Paul used the term in Galatians 5:20 as the word witchcraft. In Revelation 9:21 and 18:23, it is translated sorceries. Do you find it rather disturbing that approximately 60% of the population is taking at least one pharmaceutical drug every day? Some are taking up to 15 and 20. We are told that we are living during a time of the greatest medical breakthroughs in the history of the world, yet over 100 million Americans suffer from various health problems. Yes, we do see this not only with the drug companies, with science in the health and wellness department, but we also see that into the education department. This is the age of big advanced technology, yet we're the stupidest people that have ever lived on Earth. This is the time of the greatest medical, breakthroughs in all of, modern history or all of the world, yet we are the most unhealthy, sick people of all time. You see, there's a smokescreen here, you guys. The people who want to have everything but not work for anything, they are the ones that go and buy into all this, because, you see, exercising takes too much work. Researching and being knowledgeable takes too much work. So what we do is we assign experts. This is a progressive liberal idea that comes from, an administration that came more than 100 years ago through FDR, where he thinks that it is the government's job to influence society. You see, we're too stupid to think for ourselves, so we let the experts do it for us. They low-key do this today. Like, they don't, like, even though we have the right to vote and all that stuff, they don't care about what you have to say and think. They think you're too stupid to make up your decisions for everyone else, or to put in your own opinion. You're too stupid to be heard these days. But they don't tell you that, but that's what they think. It's like kind of like the Mormons, how they bring Jesus, but then, like, they tell you about something else. Like, they don't read the Bible, they read a different book. They use smoke screens. They use, like, these lures to lure people into their death traps and their cults and stuff. But I mean, it's just for the ignorant, lazy masses that are depraved and are given over to their sensual, licentious nature, that buy up and gobble this stuff down. Because, see, we're living in a time where you're too stupid to think for yourself, and so you need people who go to school and universities to be indoctrinated by these philosophies and ideologies for you to download them. And this is where we are today, because we're so advanced. And we're so we have so much medicine these days, yet we're so unhealthy and we don't know anything. We don't know how to put one foot in front of the other and chew bubblegum at the same time. And why is that? It's because we are relying on other people to do things for us. We need to do our own work, people. We need to go out and research our own things for ourselves. We need to go out and be aware of what is right when it comes to nutrition and being healthy, and not buying it. And if you want to know why I don't work for the EMS system anymore, if you want to know why I turned this bad boy in, is because I've seen it for myself, man. I know how much money is made in the pharmaceutical industry by keeping you sick. Not making you well, but keeping you sick. And the guilt that is on these doctors' faces, that they don't even look you in the eye, they don't even acknowledge you passing by, is disturbing. Why do you think you're guilty by association if you're a police officer or an EMT? Because you're doing a lot of things that are not right. You're allowing things to happen around you that are not right. And for you to stand up to the system would be a self-sacrificing thing, because you have to have no fear at all to go up against this stuff, but that is going to have consequences. The man will bring you down if you bring the curtain down for everyone else to see. I've seen this stuff for myself, people. I know what I'm talking about. You can get ahead in life by just knowing about nutrition. You don't need people to tell you how to be healthy in all these different types of ways. Do some exercise and learn some nutrition. Learn what's good for your body. Learn how your body works. Learn that you don't have to pound sugar to, you know what I mean? You can just eat healthy and your body naturally turns that stuff into sugar. Whoa, who knew? It's amazing what people believe these days. You have the internet at your fingertips, but instead of learning stuff, you're going to go and watch two people have sex. Or you're going to go and watch something stupid and mediocre instead of learning something every day. You see, when you love to learn, you will become addicted and obsessed with it. You will love to learn every day. But you got to take the first step. You got to try to understand things for yourself. But anyways, let me get back into this. Some are taken up to 15. Yeah, we already read that. Pharmaceutical drugs. We are told that we are living in... Okay. So, over 100 million Americans suffer from various health diseases. Why has such a large majority of the world become dependent on pharmaceutical drugs? Perhaps you're one of the hundreds of millions around the world that's ingesting a daily dose of pharmaceutical medicine. Is it possible that the pharmaceutical medical cartel has disease treatment and not disease cure in mind? You think? You mean the love of money isn't a part of the end times? Yeah, it is. Even in the church. Shamefully. But even more so in the world. Because you see, in the pharmaceutical industry, there's a lot of money to be made. And you make money off of people being sick, not people being well. And I have seen this with my own eyes. I have seen this great evil with my own eyes. And let me tell you guys something out there. If you're watching my video and you're into the EMS system and you're training to be a nurse, vocational nurse, ER, whatever you're training to be, please don't. If your heart is into serving others, putting a smile on someone else's face and not your own self-gratification, not because you want to impress your family by being a medical professional, don't do it. Please, for the love of God, don't do it. Go work at McDonald's or something, because you're not going to do the world any good. I have been in so many hospitals, man, where the nurses are some of the most vile, ugly, dirty mouth, potty head people I've ever met in my life. The most discompassionate, desensitized people I've ever met. You see, you think you're mentally strong enough to enter into this world of serving and rescuing people, but once you see the real suffering that goes on, your mind shuts off. For people who are used to suppressing the truth, you get post-traumatic stress disorder from the stuff you're going to see. So for your own sake and for the sake of other people, don't do it. You're not fit for the job. We need people who are not selfish. We need people who are willing to serve and sacrifice for their own happiness, for the well-being of others. We need people who know that other people are human beings and that you need to treat them with dignity. But I have seen way too many times where people get into this profession for the sake of getting self-gratification and getting honor and respect from people that they know. And these are some of the ugliest people you'll ever meet, because they're driving the ambulances, they're getting the gurney out of the ambulance, they're going in, they're talking to the patients, but these people's hearts are far from what their job is. They're only in it for themselves. And if anything gets in their way, they get upset really easily. If anything makes their day a little difficult for them, they start to complain. It's all about them. You see, we live in a generation, in a society today where we think marriage, we think being a medical professional, all these things are for me, my self-gratification, my own selfish ambition. Marriage and professional medical treatment is not for you. Those are two very hard things to endeavor upon. And yet, let me use marriage as a good example. You want to know why there's so many divorces today? It's because people don't know what they're getting themselves into. People think that marriage is for them. No, marriage is not for you. Marriage is for honoring Christ. And not only that, and it is a biblical thing. So if you're not even a Christian, why are you even thinking about getting married? You don't even know what that is. And second of all, you think marriage is going to be just happy all the time and go lucky and no problems and everything's fine? No, dude, you're going to have... That's a challenging thing, and marriage is a hard thing. So, the same thing with the medical profession. You think you're getting into something where you're going to be all successful and happy, but you're not. It's not for you, dude. It's not. It's for people who have a passion and a drive to do this kind of thing. Not because you want to get some type of respect out of it. I mean, this is the world we're living in, where we think we do things. Even in this country that we live in today, America, why doesn't everybody get together and get pumped up for liberty? We get pumped up over a stupid football game, but we never get pumped up over liberty and losing our rights. Why? Because it's for our future, it's for our kids, and it's not for us. That's why we don't care. If we cared, it's because we would see that there is some type of benefit for us, some type of special interest that benefits us. This is the culture we live in today, where it's all about me, me. What do I get? And yeah, I get really passionate about talking about stuff like this because I've had enough. I left the medical field because of stuff like this. People these days think they're adults and they're so smart and you're grown up and you have your life together, and it's so far away from the truth. You don't have anything together. You're not an adult. You're not responsible. You're not a real man. You're not. You're a little kid in a man body. And you're playing around with people's lives. It's a sickening thing to see in real life. The type of selfish coldness that you see in people these days, man. In the medical field, especially. It's disgusting. Get out of that job if that's one of you guys. Please, for the sake of humanity, go work at McDonald's. It doesn't take compassion and love to work at a McDonald's, okay? Let's see. Yeah, I get pretty worked up over this because I've seen it for myself. The most powerful German economic... oh, yeah, never mind. I skipped something. Is it possible that the pharmaceutical medical cartel... Okay, yeah. Has disease treatment and not disease cure in mind? The most powerful German economic corporate emporium in the first half of this century was known as IG Farben and was nothing more than a powerful cartel of BASF, Bayer, Host, and other German chemical and pharmaceutical companies. IG Farben was the single largest donor to the election campaign of Adolf Hitler. What did I say in my last video about scientific dictatorship, science, it being in the word, medicine, all of that stuff, all used for tyranny, all of it. This Pharmakeia stuff today is the modern day Gandalf science sorcery. It is. It is. And it's so powerful you are oblivious to the fact that it is that. That's how powerful the delusion is today. And the beginning of the modern day pharmaceutical industry all came from this. Zyklon B, an extermination gas produced by Host, was used to kill millions of innocent people in death camps. The U.S. government investigation of all the factors leading to World War II in 1946 came to the conclusion that without IG Farben, the Second World War would not have been possible. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Why are wars fought anyway? It's over money. Why do people, instead of healing sick people, want to keep them sick? To make money. You know, I was watching MTV, and not because I watch MTV. It was because I was at a friend's house with you know, his friend and some chick, and we were just watching MTV, having a good time, just hanging out. And I was very disturbed because somebody said, "Doesn't the Bible say that money is the root of all evil?" And then everybody starts laughing around me. First of all, it was misquoted on purpose because Christians are being marginalized to be persecuted, and that's coming to a city near you, my friend. That's just one thing. And the second thing is that it's not money, you yuppies or you liars out there. It's not money itself that's evil. We need money to get by in life, to pay the mortgage and to do all kinds of stuff, pay car bills. But it's the love of money that becomes idolatrous, because then you start to murder, steal, kill, all kinds of stuff just to get your way. That's what we're talking about here. Why are wars fought? Why do we see World War III on the horizon? It's money. It's a money issue. It's always been a money issue. At the very core of all of our problems today is the economic situation that we have today. It's just a matter of time, in my honest opinion, before they hit that reset button. The currency in the United States is now not even the backup reserve currency of the world anymore. China and the euro have now taken over that. We are now being bought off by China. All of our markets, all of our jobs are being bought. Our coal power plants are being shut down. What do you think is going on here? I mean, I feel like I'm just going crazy sometimes when I talk about this because nobody listens. Nobody cares. And the fact of the matter is that it's not some stupid conspiracy theory nonsense, dude. It's real. And it's so obvious that it gets me really upset when I see people that scoff at this stuff. Because it's like, listen, dude, I feel really bad for you. Because I know how people are sheep. And when one sheep jumps off a cliff, everybody goes after that sheep. Everyone follows that one. Figuratively and literally, that is true. But you need to start to appreciate people like me who are just trying to warn you. Because it's people like me now that I see mostly being attacked all over the place now. By the false convert Christians, by the atheists, by the LGBT, by anyone who just wants to live in the matrix. I say we get bolder and we start to confront all these things and then throw them in everyone's faces unashamedly, because you shouldn't be ashamed of the truth. You should have God empower you to be able to speak the truth and to dismantle all the lies of the enemy and pull the curtain down for everyone to get a clear view of what all this stuff is. Because all of this stuff, all of the pharmaceutical stuff, all of the, when we got with Ebola and all that, that has to do with war. These are all war tactics. But you see, I think people today are even so ignorant that you think we still fight guerrilla warfare, where one side lines up and the other one lines up and we just fight and we clash into each other. That's not how war is fought nowadays, ladies and gentlemen. If we look and we are honest with ourselves, we are in war right now. We are in a war right now. You could call it spiritual warfare, you call it an information war, you could call it a truth war, but it's a war that's going on in your mind, and it's for your heart. And why is the enemy after your heart? Because he wants you to follow him to hell with him. That's the only real goal he has. He doesn't have any promises for you. There's nothing on the other side of the rainbow for you. It's just judgment and hell waiting for you. Why? Because you chose to live your life ignorant and to live in fear, not wanting to know the truth. And I don't blame you, because without the peace of God guarding our hearts, you cannot handle the truth. And no, I'm not trying to be Jack Nicholson in that one movie. But that's the truth. You cannot handle the truth if you do not have the peace that surpasses understanding and the joy inexpressible that only comes through the Lord Jesus Christ. If you like my channel, subscribe. God bless.